Please be seated, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the March 10th combined meeting for the Vineland Board of Education. Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Here.
Mrs. Cottaspati?
Present.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Here.
Mr. Holmes?
Here.
Mr. Rivera?
Here.
Mr. Sobrana?
Present.
Mr. Silva? Here. Ms. Spinelli?
Here.
Mr. English?
Here. Thank you, Mr. Mustarello. In compliance with the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Law, commonly referred to as the Sunshine Law, the Vineland Board of Education has caused notice and posting of this meeting to be sent to the following, announcing time and place thereof, agenda, etc. The Daily Journal, SNJ Today, the Press of Atlantic City, Nuestra Comunidad, Visto Bueno, the Clerk for the City of Vineland, and the Administrative Office Public Bulletin Board. At this time, I would ask that everyone please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Mustarello, do we have a resolution for executive session this evening?
We do. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the City of Vineland School District will convene into executive session for the following reasons as outlined in NJSA 10-4-12. Discussion is about any matter involving the proposed lease or acquisition of real property, any pending or anticipated litigation or contract negotiation in which the public body is or may be a party to, and any matters falling within the attorney-client privilege, to the extent that confidentiality is required in order for the attorney to exercise his ethical duties as a lawyer.
Thank you, Mr. Mustarello. We will go into executive session after our special presentation portion of this evening's meeting.
Do we want to vote on?
I guess that's a good idea, isn't it, sir? Thank you, I appreciate that. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Mrs. Cottaspati?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sobrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Mr. English?
Yes, sir.
Motion passes.
Thank you. At this time, Dr. Gruccio, special presentations, please.
Yes. First, I'd like to call forward Mrs. Deborah Quinn. She's here this evening along with Mrs. Sue Cicchini, and they are here to honor a former student by the name of Angel Santiago. Angel Santiago became a public school teacher and was awarded the Teacher of the Year for the state of New Jersey and was on the cover of NJA magazine. So we're very happy to recognize him tonight and have him here with us. I'll turn it over to Deborah and Sue.
Good evening. Good evening, Dr. Gruccio, Board President, Mr. English, Mrs. Spinelli, the rest of the board members, and our community members here this evening. I'm Deborah Quinn, and I'm principal at the Thomas Wallace Middle School. And myself and Ms. Cicchini are here to honor and recognize one of our former students, Mr. Angel Santiago. He's a Vineland Public School VHS graduate of 2002. Henry Adams said, "A teacher affects eternity. He or she can never tell when his influence stops." Jacques Barzum once said, "In teaching, you cannot see the fruit of a day's work. It is invisible, and it remains so, maybe for 20 years. The state of New Jersey recognizes these outstanding educators through the Governor's Education of the Year program. We call it the GEOY. This program begins at the school level with a structured colleague nomination and a school-based committee selection process. At the school level, the school awardees are then chosen, and they can choose to fill out the application for at the county level for the County Teacher of the Year. Those 22 county Teachers of the Years are then in the running for the state Teacher of the Year recognition. This is a rigorous and thorough process, and it requires lots of paperwork, lots of development of plans, and the honorees also select a platform. And I believe Mr. Angel Santiago will be speaking on his platform a little bit later. What greater joy can a teacher feel but to witness a student's success? On a personal note, I met Angel at the age when he was 6 years old, a shy 6-year-old, entering my classroom at Cunningham School. I recall the tremendous growth he displayed and the achievement he made that year. As a teacher, you follow those students who leave that indelible mark on your heart and on your mind. I watched Angel become a successful student, graduate, become a performer and a musician. He used to be in the Days Like These group. He was a lead singer, and he had recording contracts and produced 2 albums. In 2012, I was so excited to see Angel's name come across my desk in a new role as student teacher at Winslow School. That year, he faced several bumps in the road, not at his hand, but in other things, and he persevered through those. And it was at that point that I was confident that he would be an outstanding educator. I'm reminded of Harold Taylor's quote, "The roots of a true achievements lie in the will to become the best that you can become." Congratulations, Angel. You have made this teacher proud and all of Vineland proud. And next, Susan.
Thank you. Angel, sometimes we find that our greatest glories are, quite simply, the days like these. Young boys and girls, when faced with that ever-imposing question of what do you want to be when you grow up, so often aspire to occupations such as doctors, or lawyers, or professional sports players, or maybe even famous singers. Still others want to find a way to save the world. In 6th grade, Angel met a teacher by the name of Mark Malamed. It was a meeting that would change his life. Mark founded the Gabriel Project, an organization that was created in the hope of helping children from Africa who needed life-saving heart surgery. That project went on to save the lives of children from all over the world. Angel was a part of the genesis of that organization. He worked as a student ambassador tirelessly to promote the Gabriel Project's mission, and as a result, he helped save lives. That's quite a statement for a 6th grader to be able to make. It was in 7th grade when I had the pleasure of having Angel in my classroom. He was a generous, hardworking, kind young man who loved to find all of the good in life. He was an excellent student and always sought to find ways to make things better for all the people around him. In 8th grade, he was awarded Memorial's prestigious C. Edward Lee Partito Award for Outstanding 8th grade student. Angel's passion for making a difference in the world was already well grounded as a young man of 14. In high school, he was involved in the select choir and Cap and Dagger Club, where he helped to develop the incredible performing talents he now has. From there, he went on to perform with his band, Days Like These. That childhood dream of being a rock star was coming true. The band toured, and Angel wowed his audiences with that incredible voice of his. However, the rock star life wasn't all that he had hoped for. It was then that he returned to Vineland and began his studies for the greatest adventure of his life. Classroom experiences interwoven with the honor and privilege of helping others were Angel's destiny. And that is what brings us here tonight. We are so proud of the man you have become, Angel, and we are so thankful for the thousands of lives that you will touch over the course of your career. New Jersey sure got this one right.
Dr. Gruccio, if I can invite Angel to come up and speak.
I forgot all the accolades that I won as a middle school student, but some of them are taking the place, hanging up on my wall just to make it seem like I have more awards than I actually do as a teacher. But I can probably substitute this accolade right here for the Little League Baseball MVP award I won when I was 12. So first and foremost, I want to thank the board, Vineland Board of Education, Dr. Gruccio, who I've known for a long time, being friends with Lauren and performing in those beautiful plays. To my wife and my son, my brother who's in attendance, my mother, and all my family who are essential in shaping me to be the husband, the son, and essentially the father and educator who I am today. And to all the teachers of the Vineland Public School District for playing such a vital, vital role in my life. I want to take you back just for a second. 1989, Cunningham School. My mom was a young mom. She worked a lot. But I want to say happy retirement, Mom. Over 25 years of service. Yeah. We were raised in a combination of great women in our family, from my abuela to my titi Sylvia. But I struggled in first grade. I was struggling reading and writing and math and education. Since education has come a long way since then, nonetheless, I didn't understand how to read or write. I became reclusive. I never participated. To this day, I remember the sting of that embarrassment. Unfortunately, I was held back that first year, and I was devastated. I felt unintelligent, and I didn't like to go to school. The next year, a young teacher was at the helm of that classroom. She had a different way about her. She made me feel safe. She was optimistic. She was caring. She made me feel smart. That lady spoke tonight. She was known as Mrs. Janata back then, but now it's Debbie Quinn. I don't think I've ever expressed to you, Debbie, but when I look back as a teacher on my school career, you were instrumental in building my confidence, and I think that every teacher strives to be that type of teacher. And she wasn't the only one. In middle school, I was introduced to the most influential man in my entire life, Mr. Malaman. Mr. Malaman made his students feel like a part of a greater world. With his Gabriel Project, I became a global citizen. He became a mentor of mine, all the way up until adulthood, and a role model of how I should go about living my life, a life of service. And Sue, you're like family to me. Every period you taught was deserving of an Academy Award. But what I remember most were those times outside the classroom, those bits and pieces of time where during play practice or in conversation where we didn't focus on language arts or learning. You focused on making me a better person. And the list can go on and on and on. And I could probably name every teacher in my public school education and associate them with a positive memory. But I don't think we have the time to do so. Part of my platform is to highlight great educators, whether they are still working in the school or whether they have retired, and to use that passion to move forward to our new teachers and those who are actually in the profession. So with that, I'd like to highlight this town and the teaching pedigree that comes associated with Vineland. This town's offered me and our students some of the most transformative educators throughout the decades. They were practicing social emotional competencies and equity, opening doors and opportunities for students of diverse backgrounds. This town has always been a mosaic of beautiful shades of brown, and the teachers of this town has always made it a point to offer their students opportunities and have embraced and celebrated cultural differences that make us who we are. And though I may not have the pleasure of working in this district, I've brought the lessons and opportunities that were offered to me to the students and families of Gloucester Township. So, in my final message, to those who are currently teaching within this district and those who are raised by a district such as Vineland, teaching elsewhere, whether you are at the pinnacle of your career or a first-year teacher, you come from Vineland, but where diversity is the norm and equity has been a language spoken for decades. And now that we have research and data to accompany our practices, it's up to us to continue this long pedigree of teachers who found ways to unlock doors and opportunities for all of their students. Because I can assure you that inside our classrooms right now, we have future nurses and doctors bravely leading us through the next medical crisis. A civil rights activist and lawyer fighting for equity and inclusion, a police officer or a firefighter serving and protecting their community, an engineer rebuilding the infrastructure of this town, or a teacher continuing this process anew. So once again, thank you for this honor. I'm forever grateful of this town, and may God bless you guys. Thank you.
Angel, Mr. English, the board president, and I have a little something we'd like to give you, and we want to wish you nothing but continued success and happiness, and we're very proud that you came from Vineland Public Schools.
I'm very proud to be coming from Vineland Public Schools. Great town. So thank you once again, everyone. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You want to take a picture? Here, take a picture.
Gia wants a picture.
Take the mask off, you're breaking the law. I'm shocked. Congratulations. Hey, tell your mom I said hello. Congratulations. Congratulations on her.
Okay, again, congratulations, and now I would like to call forward Dr. Sneathen. She is going to be speaking this evening with a brief update on our Vineland Public Schools Equity Committee.
Good evening. Since my last board update on the progress of the District Equity Committee back in October, we have been able to have 2 full committee meetings via Zoom. The committee has over 60 members. It is comprised of interested community members, administrators, board members, teachers, professional staff from the elementary, middle, and high school levels. We agreed to operate using a subcommittee model since our group is so large. We've established subcommittees involving the creation of bylaws, mission and vision statements, the creation of our purpose and goals, training opportunities, hiring practices, curriculum, and disciplinary data. These subcommittees meet in between our regular monthly meetings, and they're able to focus on their specific topics and then report back to the larger group. The volunteer subcommittee facilitators have begun holding these subcommittee meetings, and the smaller groups are beginning to gather data, conduct research, and discuss the various topics mentioned previously. In our second whole group meeting, we had special guest speakers who did a brief training with the committee on bias and equity, and we're working on funding sources so we might take part in their entire training module. We're also actively investigating further training opportunities for the members of the committee who could then turn key to the rest of the staff. The members of the Equity Committee look forward to continuing their work in the coming months and in the next school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sneathen. Next, we'll have staff highlights, and we're going to begin by asking Tara Meyerson to please come forward. Oh, you're going to, I'm sorry, okay.
I'm first.
All right.
Sorry.
No problem, go right
Roxanne
ahead.
Dorenzis, 5th grade teacher at DePolito, but Tara and I are partners in this. Take off my mask. So this is an exciting day, all this positivity, so I'm so excited I'm a part of it. And it's exciting because New Jersey education is #1 again. And I'm going to highlight two different hot spotlights, but 3 women altogether that are educators, and you can see why New Jersey is number 1 if it is filled with women and teachers like this. So Amy Kimmel and Stephanie Haynes are members of the school grant committee at Delago Preschool. Mrs. Kimmel and Mrs. Haynes are being recognized tonight for their tireless effort and commitment over the past year to plan events despite the COVID-19 pandemic that have encouraged family involvement in our schools and community. Thanks to the Vineland Education Association Pride Grant funding, Mrs. Kimmel and Mrs. Haynes creatively planned meaningful and enjoyable community events that were also COVID-19 safe. These events, the Farm Festival and Snowball Dance, came together very successfully. Gee, I can't read. I didn't attend Vineland Public School, maybe that's why. They used the VEA Pride funding to purchase high-quality storybooks in both English and Spanish for their young dual-language students. They also were able to partner with local farms to provide fresh produce to students' families. A convenient drive-through walk-up pickup of snacks, books, and giveaway items was safely arranged, and even virtual dance parties were coordinated for some added fun. Mrs. Kimmel and Mrs. Haynes truly kept in mind the values, culture, and diversity of the school community and the Vineland community overall. And the students, their families, and the staff had a great time staying connected to the school and each other because of the committee members' hard work. Mrs. Kimmel and Mrs. Haynes, your creative efforts to keep the school, family, and community connection strong deserves endless praise. You are so valued and appreciated in our school district. Thank you for all that you do. Woohoo! Okay, so I don't want to be prejudiced here, but this is from my building, and I'm so excited that I got to read this one. So this is Ashley Flanagan. She is an in-class resource special education teacher at DePalito Elementary School, where she teaches 4th grade. Mrs. Flanagan made a special impact on one of her students' lives this year. During our time of virtual learning, while teaching her students how to write friendly letters, one student in particular, K. John, took this as an opportunity to let Mrs. Flanagan know how much he appreciated her. His letter is as follows, and yes, we do have permission to share. Dear Mrs. Flanagan, thank you for teaching me math. Without your help, I would not be able to understand math. You make learning a lot of fun, and you make sure that we are challenging ourselves. Math used to be tough for me, but now that I have you to teach me, it has become so much easier. I enjoy learning the way you break the math problems down to show us how to get the answer easier. It really helps. I also want to thank you for helping me learn how to read. Reading is very important in life, and I see we really need it to know how to do it. It is you that inspired me to learn because of your way of teaching. This shows me that you are a person that takes in pride in what you teach. I will take pride in what you taught me. You also show true emotions about how each of us students feel. If we feel bad, you try to make us feel better. And if we are happy, you join in on the happy times with us. How do you stay so cheerful every day when we are in class? How do you feel about school? And last, how would you like for us to treat you the way that you treat us? I feel I do treat you with respect, and that's what counts. Thank you for being you. Sincerely, K. John. As we can see through K. John's words, Mrs. Flanagan is making such a positive impression on her students' lives. While teaching is such a challenging and sometimes thankless job, hearing words of gratitude from the students we teach makes it all worth it. Mrs. Flanagan, keep on being the amazing educator that you are. We appreciate you. Yay! Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tara Meyerson. Thank you again to the Board of Education and Dr. Gruccio for allowing, this positive accepting our proposals and incorporating it into the district. Like, this is amazing, and it just gives me so much joy. And when we reach out to the staff that are being recognized, the responses we get are so heartfelt, and they are so appreciative, and they just can't even believe it. Like, they're just so excited. So I have 2 more spotlights to share with you. Okay, so the first spotlight is Christina Sacamano. She is a speech language pathologist who provides speech language therapy services to children at Pillow Middle School, as well as students in our district's preschool providers. When it comes to therapists who go above and beyond, she is at the top of that list. She is dedicated, knowledgeable, and passionate. She demonstrates strong ethics, empathy, and is always willing to learn and grow. Not only does she work tirelessly day in and day out to ensure her students are receiving their services, she also collaborates with fellow therapists and classroom teachers to promote carryover and generalization of skills. Mrs. Sacamano works with each child and their family to find a therapy time that works with their academic schedule, as well as any other therapies they may receive. She provides evening hours to accommodate parents' work schedules and is always adjusting her schedule to make herself available. She fights for what is right and will always go to bat when it comes to doing what is best for her students. So tonight we recognize and thank you, Mrs. Sacamano, for your dedication to our students. You are a true asset to the Vineland Public School system. Clap. And for our last staff member spotlight, I would like to, again, I'm a little biased here, but a staff member from the building that I work in, Menny's. Mrs. Lucian Prado, or Gigi as many call her, is a special education teacher. She has worked at Winslow and Petway schools in the past, and now Menny's Elementary School. Saying that Mrs. Prado is just a special education teacher certainly does not do justice to the many hats that she actually wears. Mrs. Prado has dedicated her life to helping kids not only learn how to read, but to love reading. She has been in the Vineland Public School District for 27 years, and during all this time, she has accomplished so much. Her passion is teaching reading to all students, but she is particularly specialized in helping struggling readers. She is a structured literacy dyslexia specialist, a Orton Gillingham dyslexia specialist, and a Wilson dyslexia therapist. Ooh, that was a mouthful. Mrs. Prado utilizes her many specializations and also privately tutors students as well. Mrs. Prado brings the joy of reading and imagination to young students in our school district through the many after-school clubs that she has advised in the past. The Junie B. Jones Book Club, the Fairy Tales and Folk Tales Book Club, and even the ever-popular Frozen Club. She was also the liaison for S&J News and brought the Birthday Book Project to Menny's Elementary School, where every single student in the school got a new, beautifully wrapped book on their birthday. Speaking of books, Mrs. Prado is also a published author. In 2017, she published her book, Bianca Teaches Acceptance, a character education book focusing on the trait of acceptance of all people, finding common threads that tie us all together, and being proud of who you are. She also wrote a song, Bianca the Butterfly, that goes along with her books. In addition, Mrs. Prado hosts assemblies at schools, libraries, and festivals where she focuses on spreading positive messages of self-love and acceptance through the reading of her book and her song. Mrs. Prado was a featured author 2 years in a row at the NJEA convention. And if publishing a book wasn't enough, Mrs. Prado also owns her own publishing company, the Reading Butterfly Incorporated. Needless to say, Mrs. Prado's life's mission is to promote meaningful literacy in our world, to provide specialized, intentional reading instruction for our students, and to share a message of acceptance and having good character. So thank you, Mrs. Prado. The value that you bring to our district and your students and to our community is immeasurable. You are so very appreciated. Thank you again.
Thank you both very much, and congratulations to those who were recognized. Now I'd like to call forward Mike Hall, the Director of our Transportation Department, and he has a couple people he would like to recognize.
Thank you, Dr. Gruccio and board members. Thank you for allowing me to recognize 2 school bus drivers. They're not basic, standard, they're exceptional. We have a 2-year employee, Jessica Strong. She's been with us for 2 years. And we have Desiderio Mora Santana, who's been with us for 4 years. If you guys would stand up. Desi, are you here standing up? Jessica would stand up. In December, Vineland Public Charter hosted Disney Spirit Day, and Jessica thrilled her students by dressing up as Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. Her kids were truly thrilled. The school and Mr. Larson, I believe, was really thrilled by that. Ms. Strong arrives early at her preschool in the morning, and when she gets there early, she reads Dr. Seuss to her kids when she's there waiting for them to get off the bus. So you're amazing. Thank you for what you do. Mr. Santana Mora was hired in January 2017 as a school bus driver, and he has not missed a day of work. Either he doesn't know how to use ASOP or he just loves his work. So either way, thank you for what you do. You're amazing. You are the dispatch team's best friend, and we really appreciate you. Thank you very much. That's it. Thank you.
Congratulations, and thank you, Mr. Hall. And finally, I'd like to ask Mr. Farinaccio to come forward. He has a couple of people he would like to recognize.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Gruccio, board members, other administration representatives, it is my privilege tonight to brag a little bit about facilities and our department. And I can assure you that it doesn't just revolve around me. I wanted to talk tonight in recognition of my management team, consisting of Robert Pataki, my Assistant Director of Facilities, and George Cardona, my Coordinator of Maintenance. As everybody knows, we've had challenging budgets over the past decade. Instead of the numbers heading south, they headed north. They lowered. And it was a shared burden with our entire district. Everybody had to sacrifice. For facilities, I can assure you, in some ways it was catastrophic. But I'm here proudly to say we still move on in facilities. We still handle the tasks and the ability to get projects done, and that makes me proud, and it's done through my management team. Both Robert and George are extremely dedicated individuals. We have a few phrases in facilities. At the end of the day, it's either get it done or make it happen. Very simplistic in nature, but there's a lot of steps in order to get something accomplished. And that happens by way of my management team, both Robert and George. One of the truly treasured things from my perspective as the department head is not a day goes by, at the end of the day, Robert, who is now the early man in, comes to my door before he rolls out, knocks on the door and opens it. Paul, do you need anything? Is there anything else I can do for you before I head out? George Cardona, who works his split shift, same thing. Between the afternoon and the evening shift, he'll roll in and say, Paul, before I leave and head out to a school, do you need anything? And they both know that on many occasions I say, hey, I do. And so that is greatly appreciated. In the evenings I'm home, there's phone calls, there's emails, there's texts, all setting up for next day's schedule. There's either a change in absenteeism or a priority has to be reprioritized for an emergency or something that has come up. That's all happening after hours, 10:30, 11:30, 1 a.m. sometimes. Why am I even awake at 1 a.m.? I don't know. But I see it, and it happens all the time. So in closing, I just wanted to share those highlights. George and Robert, we were challenged with the numbers in here. They are not with us. I would have asked them to come, but I would at least say, hey, we could give a sentiment of a clap in acknowledgement for them. They truly, truly do everything for the students and staff of Vineland, and I'm proud to call them my coworkers. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul, and congratulations, George and Robert. Thank you for all that you do.
I'm going to check it. That's it. Board members, do I have any questions or comments on our HIB report this evening? Seeing none, at this time we will be going into executive session, and we will return shortly. Thank you. Thank you for being patient, everyone. At this time, do we have a motion for the approval of minutes from February 3rd, 2021, February 10th, 2021, combined meeting and special meeting?
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta,
Yes.
this is for both, Mr. President? This is for both meetings? Yes, both meetings. Ms. Scott-Spotty,
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi,
Yes.
Mr. Holmes,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana,
Yes.
Mr. Silva,
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli,
Yes.
Mr. English.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. This time, do we have any committee reports this evening?
I have a
Ms. Spinelli.
I have a committee report. Policy and Personnel met on Wednesday, March 3rd. Present was Mr. English, Ms. Codispoti, Dr. Rossi, Mr. Fry, Mrs. Sneathen, Dr. Gruccia, Mr. Fiocchi, and myself. We went over the following items: transportation personnel discussion, the sports physical process, the hiring of an interim BA and the current BA selection, monthly employee recognition, vaccines for employees, the new bylaws and the policy changes. And that is it.
Thank you, Ms. Spinelli. Do we have any other committee reports this evening? Ms. Acosta.
On February 22nd, 2021, the Board of Education Curriculum Instruction and Technology Committee met. We discussed the Food Science and Safety Agricultural course. This is a brand-new course as part of our agricultural program. The syllabus as well as the curriculum was discussed. We also discussed summer programs. Essentially, the school district is planning on doing a summer learning academy. It's intended to address some of the potential inequities created by the COVID-19 pandemic and subsequent disruptions to traditional educational methods. The vision of the program is to provide intensive foundational reading instruction for early elementary students and extend opportunities to students to apply reading, language arts, and math skills across content areas to address real-world problems. The Academy is intended to bolster students' proficiency with their reading, language arts, and math, and engaging in meaningful ways to have a positive impact on the community. So I'm really excited about this summer opportunity that we're going to have. It's still evolving, and as I get more details about it, I'll make sure to let everybody know. But I think this is going to be extremely important to help our students continue to progress despite some of the issues that we've had with remote learning. The other thing that we discussed was Mr. Fry indicated that the policy of the Vineland Public Schools is that, as far as grading goes, is that we do not deny any student the ability to turn in late work or retake an assignment, even if the marking period is over. We know some parents are working during the day. It's difficult. Some children don't have the support necessary to do remote learning or finish up assignments. So we want to be able to give every child the opportunity to actually learn the content. And, you know, it's not a passing. If you can do it right away. But if you're having difficulty, we would rather see it late than not see it at all. And points should not be deducted for submitting something late. In addition, if any child receives a grade below 80, teachers were instructed that reteaching and reassessing is required at all grade levels. And 80% doesn't represent a cap on late work. Students should be awarded points based on the overall percentage of correct answers or whatever the assignment is. We also discussed virtual class size, and that was basically it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Acosta. Do we have any other committee reports this evening? We're doing the standing committees first before any other committee. So, go ahead.
I would like to give a little bit of an update on our superintendent search. Our committee consists of Ms. Acosta, Ms. Spinelli, and Mr. Holmes. We've been meeting regularly. As everyone knows, if they're following the timeline, our applications were completed at 5 o'clock on February 26th. At that point, we received 31 applications. The committee has thoroughly reviewed all these applications apart and together, and our first set of interviews, which are being set up virtually, will begin on March 15th and will run through March 22nd. And our second round interviews and third round will be in person, and second round interviews will begin on March 29th and go through March 31st. I just want to say thank you to my committee, because this has been something that I didn't expect, but I believe this is probably one of the most important jobs that the school board has. And I just need to thank them, because they've been giving up a lot of their time and effort that people really don't understand. This has pretty much been a 24/7 job, and we all have daytime jobs too. So we're really working hard for this search. So you can see the updated timeline on the superintendent tab on the website, along with the paper that shows that we have 31 applicants. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kadaspati, and thanks to all who are putting their time in. I know it's stressful times, but the committees do what we do. That's how we do our business. Do we have any other committee reports this evening? Seeing none, do we have any reports by our board solicitor this evening? Thank you, Mr. DeSanto. At this time, do we have any public comment on any agenda item or any matter at this time? We have a sheet.
I have one sheet from Gina Russo.
Hi, my name is Gina D. Russo, and I'm a Vineland resident, a Vineland Public Schools teacher, and a Vineland Public Schools parent. I'm speaking tonight because I'm opposed to the district school plan to have all in-person Vineland Public Schools students attend schools 4 days a week. I'm in favor of Vineland Public Schools students attending in-person education as a 2-day-a-week hybrid. The current in-person 2-day-a-week schedule should continue until the end of the school year. If all in-person students attend on the same days, class sizes will be larger. Looking at my class roll, some classes will have up to 16 or more students. There will be less social distancing and more crowded areas. The CDC guidelines call for staying at least 6 feet apart from others, avoiding crowds, and avoiding indoor spaces with limited fresh air. Adding more students to the school each day will increase the risk of children and staff contracting COVID-19. It would also increase community risk. Another threat to children is multi-system inflammatory syndrome, or MISC. MIS-C is a serious condition that some children develop once infected with COVID-19. It causes severe inflammation of organs in the body, and it can be fatal. According to the CDC, MIS-C disproportionately affects African American and Hispanic children. Over 50% of our students are already attending school virtually. Many parents do not feel safe sending their children back to school. Combining cohorts doubles the amount of people in the room at one time and doubles the risk. So parents, like myself, who are concerned about safety, may have to pull their children out of school. There may be less children attending school in person, not more. If class sizes and amounts of students in school increases, there will be more chances of COVID-19 transmission, which may lead to more school closings. I came to speak tonight because parents who would like to continue with the 2-day option were not allowed to voice their opinion on the parent survey given out by the school district. Only a 4-day-a-week option or an all-virtual option was given as a choice. Why were parents not given all of the options? To skew the results a certain way? The survey was biased and flawed. In conclusion, I believe that the current 2-day-a-week hybrids should continue until the end of the school year. Children's health and safety should be paramount to adults' politics. If the city of Vineland feels that it cannot reopen the Vineland Public Library because of the threat of COVID-19, then the same caution should apply to the Vineland Public Schools. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Russo. Do we have anyone else that turned in a sheet this evening? Would anyone else like to address the board at this time? Thank you. Seeing none. At this time, motion and resolution by our Superintendent, Dr. Griccio, please.
Thank you. I'd first like to recommend discussion of personnel items, retirements, resignations, terminations, leaves of absence, employment, transfers, student substitutes, extracurricular activities, and volunteers.
Any questions or comments?
I would like to recommend approval of the personnel items.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please. Mr. Mustarello?
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi? Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Soprano?
Yes.
Mr. Silva?
Yes.
Ms. Spinelli? Mr. English?
I will be voting reluctantly yes this evening.
At this time, I would like to give Dawn Leary, our new business administrator, I'd like to congratulate her and give her an opportunity if she would like to address the board.
Good evening, everyone. First, I want to thank Dr. Griccio, Superintendent, as well as fellow board members for this great opportunity. I'm very excited. Can't wait to start. Just want to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to do this job. I also want to thank my family. I have my 2 beautiful girls with me. My daughter, Brooke, who's the oldest, she works right here in Vineland at the Inspira Health Center as a manager. Also like to thank my youngest, Brianna. She is actually just graduated from Westchester University in December. And I want to thank my partner in crime, and I probably shouldn't be saying crime, because he's the captain of the Longside Police Department, Mr. William Plenty. Just a little bit about me. I have actually been a business administrator for 12 years. I worked in school districts overall for 16. And I've had, a great knowledge coming from smaller districts and mid-sized districts and whatnot. So I'm very excited to be working for the Vineland School District. So thank you all again, and I look forward to it.
Ms. Leary, on behalf of my colleagues, we definitely want to congratulate and welcome you to the Vineland Public School District. And don't read all the bad things about us. We're really not that bad, I can tell you, man. We're very passionate, we care, and we definitely look forward to working with you in the future. So can't wait till you get on board. Thanks.
Okay, I'd like to recommend discussion of district travel.
Any questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the first reading of the following policies, regs, and regulations for discussion.
Any questions or comments? Oops,
Yeah,
sorry.
there's several. Do you want me to read all of these?
No.
No, okay, all right.
Questions or comments?
Okay, I would like to, oh, that's it, okay, sorry about that. Okay, I would like to recommend approval of items 2.1 through 2.2.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Gottesbody?
Yes.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sobrana?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Mr. Sobrana?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Silva? Ms. Spinelli? Mr. English?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, I would like to recommend discussion regarding the renewal of the lease with Ascenda Incorporated for 1350 Southwest Boulevard, Unit 2, for a 6-month period under the terms of the current lease agreement with a 0% increase in rent, equivalent to $2,625.49 per month for January 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2021.
Any questions or comments?
I'd like to recommend approval of the lease with Ascenda Incorporated.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Mrs. Gottesbody?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Abstain.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sobrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva? Ms. Spinelli?
Yes.
Mr. English?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
I would like to recommend discussion of budgetary transfers for our general school-based and ECBA budgets for the month of January 2021.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion of the board secretary and treasurer reports for January 2021.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the placement of special education students.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the submission and acceptance of the following grant, which is on file with the board secretary. Ativa Agri-Science Grant Application for Vineland High School North Agri-Science Program in the amount of $1,320.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the Cumberland County amended to share agreement with CC Thrive Nick's Gang programs. This change is required to adjust the amount of funding available to the Vineland Board of Education due to the severe impact of COVID-19 inflicted upon the Board of Ed's ability to provide their program services.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the renewal of the following public agreement between Vineland Board of Ed and Inspira Medical Center, Inc. for healthcare services acceptable by the board solicitor and the superintendent. Inspira Public Donor Agreement for the period of January 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2021, with donated resources in the amount of $89,163.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the submission to the Department of Ed, Office of Early Childhood, the 21-22 ECBA budget for a total of $18,817,591.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion of a shared service agreement with the City of Vineland for the development and maintenance of a UHF non-energy radio system to service both the district and the City of Vineland.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the awarding of the following contract for concrete and masonry services for the term July 1, 2021 to June 30th, 2022, with the option to renew 2 one-year terms or 1 two-year term for a maximum of 3 years. This contract is with Fabry Builders Incorporated.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the awarding of the following contract for carpet and floor covering services for the term July 1, 2021 to June 30th, 2022, with the option to renew 2 one-year terms or 1 two-year term for a maximum of 3 years, and this contractor is Commercial Interiors Direct.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the awarding of the following contract for roofing services for the term July 1, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, with the option to renew 2 one-year terms or 1 two-year term for a maximum of 3 years with Kowalski Roofing Services.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the awarding of the following contract for plumbing services for the term July 1, 2021 to June 30th, 2022, with the option to renew 2 one-year terms or 1 two-year term for a maximum of 3 years with Velasca Mechanical.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the awarding of the following contract for electrical services for the term July 1, 2021 to June 30th, 2022, with the option to renew 2 one-year terms or 1 two-year term with a maximum of 3 years to Leeway Electric.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding authorization for the school district insurance carrier to pay a former employee whose name is on file with the board secretary $195,000 as part of a separation settlement agreement.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the tuition contract between the City of Vineland Board of Education and Atlantic City Board of Education for one student in the estimated total of $3,508.37 from February 1st, 2021 to March 31st, 2021.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend discussion regarding the following Cumberland County Regional Cooperative Transportation Initiatives: 2021 bid number 4, 2021 quoted contracts, 2021 addenda, and 2021 jointure.
Questions or comments?
I would like to recommend approval of items 4.1 through 4.16.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes on all, abstain on 4.9.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva? Ms. Spinelli? Mr. English?
Yes to all, abstain from 4.9.
That concludes my recommendations.
Thank you, Dr. Gruccio. At this time, we have no proposed items for discussion or adoption by board members. At this time, do I have a motion for the approval of bills that occurred during the month of January 2021?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes.
Mrs. Codispoti?
Yes.
Mr. Fiocchi?
Yes.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Mr. Sabrana?
Yes.
Mr. Silva? Ms. Spinelli? Mr. English?
Yes, and thank you for answering my questions earlier today.
Absolutely.
We have no emergent items with prior approval. At this time, do I have any board members with any old or new business that they would like to discuss this evening? Seeing none, I do have just one thing I'd like to maybe Dr. Gruccio give a quick update on. I apologize for not giving you a little heads up on that. But when Ms. Russo had spoke at the podium, is there discussion about going back? Can you give us any input on that, where we currently stand?
Sure.
Thank you.
I know we've had a lot of discussion with the board, and the board would like to see our students back. We here at Central Administration would also like to see them back because we think it's having a negative effect on them, and they need to be with other students and progress so that they can learn. That being said, I've been dealing with the health department on a daily basis, and we have run everything by them before we will move forward. We will be making a final decision soon, and then I will be informing parents of what is going on. Currently, we are looking at 4 days a week. When we return, I believe it's August 12th, and forgive me, I don't have my calendar in front of me, but that week when we return would be a virtual week for everyone. This way, anybody who traveled, even though we're encouraging them not to, it builds in a week of quarantining. And then the following week, we would come back 4 days a week for all hybrid students, and virtual students could continue to remain virtual. In speaking with maintenance, they feel it would be best if we continue with Wednesday being our virtual day. We had some discussion about Friday. So the plan as of now, unless anything changes, we're waiting for further direction from the health department. They're waiting for some updates. Our plan is to come back after spring break. It would be a 4-day week for our hybrid students. They would be together. Also, we have ordered shields for every desk for elementary and middle school. We have ordered mask, face shields for, we ordered desk shields for elementary and middle, face shields for high school. And we also have ordered, and Paul, correct me, I'm not sure the right name of the system we ordered. Okay, and that particular machine would go into every single classroom throughout the district. It is said to kill COVID and any other viruses in the air and on surfaces. So with that in place, with the information Paul received, we should be good without anything else, but we are going to put that in place as well as our mask, our desk shields, and face shields based on the age of the student. I don't think, we realize buses will have more students on them, we realize classes will have more students, but we believe we're taking every possible precaution to keep our students and our staff safe. We're concerned about all of our people in the Vineland district, and that's our plan as of now. But I've been in daily contact with the health department, and so far we're all on the same page.
Thank you, and I apologize for putting you on the
No,
spot there.
that's okay. You're
but-
welcome. That's where we are. But I will definitely notify parents once we know for sure that we can proceed.
No problem. There's a
Okay.
lot of rumors that fly around, and I
Right.
think this
No
is the
problem.
best forum to
Okay.
address that, so I
No problem
appreciate
at
that, and I'm sure the board does as well. At this time, we will close our meeting with board member remarks. I will start to my right with Mr. Fiocchi.
Nothing at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Fiocchi. Mr. Holmes.
Yes, congratulations to Ms. Dawn Leary. Welcome to our district, and I look forward to working with you. I'm saddened to approve the retirement of a phenomenal teacher, Ms. Terry Kuhnreich, who changed my whole outlook on education. This might blow her head up even more, but she is second to none, and she cannot be replaced. So congratulations on your retirement, Ms. Kuhnreich. Everyone stay safe, be healthy. I see us crossing over and things are getting better, so I'm looking forward to our students being back in school, our teachers being back to work. Everyone, again, stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Ms. Acosta. Can you just put your mic on? I'm not sure if it's on, honey.
I'd like to congratulate the members that were spotlighted and highlighted today, from New Jersey Teacher of the Year, former Vineland student, to all the phenomenal teachers and speech therapists, facilities, transportation, every department. We have people that are working extremely hard, that are dedicated and really shine. So I'm really proud that everyone is really working to try to make a very difficult situation better. To our students, I just want to let you know, hang in there. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And it was a pleasure meeting our new business administrator. I'm looking forward to working with you as well. I'd like to congratulate and also sadly say goodbye to those who are leaving our district and are retiring. And that's about it. I hope that everyone stays safe, and looking forward to our students returning to school.
Thank you, Ms. Acosta. Ms. Codispoti.
I would also like to welcome and congratulate our new BA, Ms. Leary. We're really looking forward to working with you. I would like to echo Mr. Holmes' comments about Ms. Coonwright. She's going to be dearly missed, along with everybody else who is retiring. I would like to congratulate Mr. Santiago. What a testament to his character, and also our public school system here in Vineland to have one of our students named Teacher of the Year for the state of New Jersey. That just makes my heart melt there. I'd also like to congratulate the teachers that were recognized, our bus drivers that were recognized, our facility members who were recognized for their commitment and dedication to our district. But we have to remember there's a lot of people out there working hard for our district, so we need just to remember them also. Spring break's coming up. Please, people, be safe. Enjoy yourself. Looking so forward to having our students and staff back into the school district. So happy Easter, everyone, and see you in April.
Thank you, Ms. Codispoti. Mr. Silva.
Yes, I'd like to congratulate all who were recognized tonight, and congratulations, Ms. Leary. Looking forward to working with you. Welcome to our district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Silva. Mr. Sabrana.
Welcome, Ms. Leary. Looking forward to working with you. Also, congratulations to everyone who was honored tonight. And I would like to say that I'm hopeful that this beautiful weather we've had the last couple of days means that not only is winter over, but maybe this horrible year we've had because of the pandemic may soon be behind us, and that we can get back to all the wonderful things that were going on in schools that we've missed this last year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sabrana. Mr. Rivera.
I would also like to echo our fellow board members and welcoming Ms. Leary to the team. Also, all the individuals that were highlighted tonight, whether it was from maintenance or teachers, it just shows us that it takes a team, and I'm very proud to be part of this team. Mr. Santiago, congratulations on being named Teacher of the Year. It's very important to have individuals like Mr. Santiago and Ms. Leary, especially within the communities of color, because they see that someone like them, that looks like them, can strive and achieve great goals. In the Latin community, we like to call individuals like that un orgullo, which is something that we're proud of. And I just wait to see great things with Mr. Santiago, Ms. Leary. I can't wait to work with you. And just know, students out there, that you could be anything you want to be. Just we have examples here in Vineland. Good evening. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Ms. Scott. Oh, sorry, Ms. Spinelli.
Good evening. I just want to congratulate all of our award winners, and I also would like to welcome Ms. Leary taking the new BA position, and I really do look forward to working with you. It is a great team in the accounting department, working with Mr. Mozzarella, along with all the other team members in that team. I think that you'll really enjoy it. I wish everyone a happy Easter, and I look forward to getting back into school, hopefully sooner than later. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Spinelli. Dr. Gruccio.
Thank you. Every time we have people come up and recognize our employees and our students and former students, it makes me remember how proud I am to be a part of the Vineland Public School System. I graduated from here, my children graduated from here, my husband graduated from here. I believe in our school system. I believe we do great things. Oftentimes we hear the negative, but when you see people recognized like you did tonight, you realize that we should really be very proud of what we have and what we're doing in the district. And that includes not just our fine teachers and our students, but all of our departments who you saw here tonight, special ed, transportation, the warehouse, all of this. It's just amazing. Maintenance department. We have great people that work here, and I'm very, very, very proud to be a part of that. Dawn, I'm so happy to welcome you. I look really forward to working with you. Tell your superintendent you're leaving in a week, and we'll see you soon. Okay? Also, I wish everybody a beautiful spring break, a very happy and healthy Easter, And I just have a couple people I'd quickly like to recognize. Subaru has been great and helped us out every year. This year, again, they donated another vehicle to us, a 2015 Subaru Legacy. It had only 300 miles on it, so that was a great opportunity for our students at the high school. In our automotive program. Also, Donors Choose has been wonderful, donating every meeting. I've been recognizing them. They have donated technology to one of our schools, and also they have donated a camera once again to one of our schools. So we thank them for their generosity as well. And I wish everybody a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gruccio. In closing this evening, as all my fellow board members said, I definitely would like to echo their sentiments towards Mr. Santiago, a Vinelander, a true student of the district who really took his education serious here and brought it to a new level as you become the NGA Teacher of the Year, which is really, truly impressive. The sad thing is, it's students and teachers like that I wish would just work in our district instead of lose that style of teacher. So if we could ever lure them back, maybe we should throw a little bone out there and get them back. Again, Ms. Leary, I look forward to working with you. I've heard nothing but great things. I do thank you for working through the snow process we had. It was tough enough with COVID, but we definitely do business a lot better than that. It was a tough process, and I thank my board members that were able to sit in and observe the process as per our bylaws. Our spotlight presentations, that's something new that was brought to the attention of board members and superintendent. She worked it out with Dr. Rossi through HR, and I think that's it's a bright spot. It's a good thing to continue to shine the light on the positive things in our school district when there's so much negative being said out there. We know there's a lot of good things going on, and with kind of segue going into that, we're roughly, I guess, Meg, correct me if I'm wrong, roughly a year into this COVID that pretty much handicapped the world, the country, and really hurt us as board members. We're trying to grasp how we can do so many things differently, but still maintain the best education possible for our students, and it's really been a true challenge in so many areas. People do watch the meetings, and it's so easy to criticize what we would do and how we should do it, but I can tell you firsthand that everyone has their opinion, and unfortunately, there's a yes and there's a no. Dr. Gruccio has dug her heels in to make sure that the board, the community, the health department, everyone is on the same page. It's just getting there that sometimes is not an easy roadmap, but you've done a remarkable job with that. And I do commend you along with your central administration staff. As far as the superintendent search goes, I'm definitely out of the process, but I continue to hope that it's going well. It sounds like it is. So the board's got a lot on their plate. We checked off one box by putting in a new BA this evening, which outstanding job moving forward with that. So we have some other key positions to fill here, so I'm sure the process will be a little more stressful over the next few weeks, but just continue to dig in. Quick sad thing, Miss Pearl Giordano, a true community member, passed away last evening. When you think of Cumberland County, that's one of the names that, you mentioned Pearl Giordano, everyone had a good connection with her. She definitely will be missed, and my thoughts and prayers go out to her family. She definitely will be missed. All that I have left to say is pretty much another holiday is coming in the Easter holiday, so continue to stay safe. Hug that family member a little bit tighter than you might have last year, and as these bans start to lift here and there, continue to practice the safe procedures, and it'll get back to normal as things usually do. So I wish my fellow board members all happy Easter, the public a happy Easter, and I do have one other thing. Tonight in executive session, that is truly the way I like to see us operate as a board. We don't have to agree on everything, but we definitely keep it transparent, honest, and I respect everyone for the discussion this evening in executive session. Do I have a motion for adjournment this evening?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you and have a good evening.